I love that. And just a follow-on question from that, Melita, with networking events, can you just talk a little bit about online versus offline? And is it one or the other? Can it still work in both places? Can we just shed a little bit just to follow on that question about creating your own networking event?
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because it's probably the question I get asked the most. Is like, great, well, that's how you network in person, but how do you do that online? And my answer is the same way. Prepare how you're going to introduce yourself. Very often in an online situation, they'll say, oh, introduce yourself in the chat, and people just dump their LinkedIn profile and think, well, how rude. Who are you? Why should I click on that? So prepare just a one line, this is who I am, this is who I help, come, I'd love to connect, and an invitation, call to action, here's me on LinkedIn. Be like you would be in person.
If you are new to this channel, please support us by subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell. We publish 3 times a week, incredible tutorials, interviews, strategies, and all sorts of things to help you to grow your business.
If you're watching or listening for the first time, I'm wondering what is Wildcard? Wildcard is a series of questions that I have 5 questions, and I'll be asking Melissa to choose any number between the numbers 1 to 5. Melissa has no idea what these questions are, but they're all related to what we've been talking about today. And whatever number Melissa chooses, that is the question that I will be asking. So, Melissa, can you choose any number between 1 to 5 for me?
I'm going to go for lucky number 4.
Lucky number 4, 1 4. Aha! This is a very good one, an interesting one. It is. How do I start my own networking event if I want to run one?
Great question. I think, almost like what I was doing when I started my network is like, how do I want to show up? How do I want to be remembered? Right, what's this for? So why do you want to start your own event? What do you want to get out of it? What value do you want to give? And really start there. That will probably already give you some answers as to, am I going to do like a big event? Is it all going to be about me presenting, showcasing something, doing a training? Is it going to be maybe a panel event or some kind of speed networking? There's so many different ways you can do it, but understanding what you want to get out of it and the value you want to give to your network, that will give you some answers as to where to begin with that.
I love that. And just a follow-on question from that, Melita, with networking events, can you just talk a little bit about online versus offline? And is it one or the other? Can it still work in both places? Can we just shed a little bit just to follow on that question about creating your own networking event?
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because it's probably the question I get asked the most. Is like, great, well, that's how you network in person, but how do you do that online? And my answer is the same way. Prepare how you're going to introduce yourself. Very often in an online situation, they'll say, oh, introduce yourself in the chat, and people just dump their LinkedIn profile and think, well, how rude. Who are you? Why should I click on that? So prepare just a one line, this is who I am, this is who I help, come, I'd love to connect, and an invitation, call to action, here's me on LinkedIn. Be like you would be in person. So I don't think it's as different as people think. And I think the two work nicely. For events for introverts, online works brilliantly because you can put people into little breakout groups, you can give them tasks more easily, you can guide that event more. So I think the online space works very well for introverts. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. We do feel like, oh, I could just click a button and hide my camera and then I'm okay. So we have a bit of security. But yeah, I think online, the tools we have now are really interesting. So you can do something great. But at the same time, I still love face-to-face events. It is a bit more scary for me as a shy person in particular. But I do come away with a very different energy, having made very different types of relationships with people. So I think it's nice to balance the two.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I've been, I started off doing lots of offline speaking events. Then, of course, pandemic, post pandemic, I've just been online. And now I'm at the point in my business where I'm hungry to get out and meet people in person. So I agree with you. It's important to mix it up. There's a huge difference in mixing it up for sure. Melissa, if people want to find you to learn more about the art of networking and using it to grow their business, where can they find you?
So you can put Melitta Campbell into anything. I'm everywhere on social media. On my website is melittacampbell.com. That's with 2 T's. You can also find my book, A Shy Girl's Guide to Networking, on any online platform, or you can go to your local bookstore, which is always really nice, and they can order it for you and it will arrive in a few days.
Wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, which I'm sure you did, if you got value, make sure you reach out to Melitta. When you do, let Melitta know that you met her here on the Wake to Up show with me, your host, Pamela Bessa. Thank you all so much for watching. Melitta, you have been wonderful, such great value. I am so excited to get back out networking in person again. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you once again for joining me on this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And before you go, take a look at the pieces of content on the screen right now, where we walk you through various strategies to scale your business. So don't go away and jump into any of the cards on the screen right now.